How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. For those that don't know me, I'm Mejia. I'm council member in District 3. So if you live in District 3, I'm a council member. Tonight's an interesting night. I see a lot of people outside of my district, so welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. Pleasure. If you've ever been to my council member, my town hall meetings before, I usually hold them different. This year I want to try something new. When I was gaining signatures this spring, I was talking to Gabby, and Gabby was like, I'm tired of hearing about the budget and all this stuff, and I get it. My presentations usually, they're a little bit they kind of repeat themselves. So what we're going to do tonight, I know a lot of you have questions or concerns. I think the best thing to do is if you have questions or concerns, I'll let y'all ask those. And if y'all still want to hear a presentation after that, then we can go through that. But I think tonight a lot of times people come and have questions and concerns. So I'll be happy to answer questions at any time, anything you got. So do we have any questions for tonight? Yes, sir.
So I'm visiting with several people. You know, down on the south side, you're really on Blue Grove. And I've talked to people about developing that area. And say, oh, not in Lancaster, you can't do that. You know, because you're in Lancaster. Now, if you're in Red Oak, it'd be different. You could build nice houses, you could do whatever. I said, because Lancaster's got this bad reputation of whatever. How do we correct that?
Well, in 2010 when I got elected, so I got elected in 2010. I've been on council over 15 years now. That was one of my big issues when I got elected that I really wanted to tackle, was to change that reputation that Lancaster had. And I think for a long time we did, but up to a few years ago, I think we're starting to go back. And I think one of the things that I'm very big on is customer service and to improve that reputation. It's one of the things I preach to staff on a constant basis. It's one of the things I preach to the council members, is that customer service is the most important thing that we have. Without our citizens, without our developers, they are our city. That's how we pay our money. All these people that stand here tonight, how the way we pay the lights is through development, is through taxpayers in Lancaster. So how do we improve that? Is just keep pounding it. Through council, it starts with council. They've got to pound it. They've got to realize that our customers are developers and our residents, our residents are our taxpayers. They're the reasons that they have jobs, the reasons we have lights, they're the reasons we have a place at the town hall meetings, city council meetings. So to change that, it starts from city council. We have to change our reputation. And I think for a long time we were moving in the right direction. Unfortunately, we're starting to go back. I think we're starting to slip. So it's just something that you have to work on every day. Customer service, pro-development, and remind ourselves every day, these are our customers, this is how we do that. So it is something very close to my heart, and something very important that I'm trying to do. But unfortunately, it takes a village to run the city. Not everybody has that mindset in the city council.
What kind of things do you do outside of just Lancaster, as far as any advertising or publications or anything that might focus more on what we have to offer?
I think one of the most important things you can do is, I always say success is contagious. And so word of mouth is the best way. I mean, you have a developer or homeowner that lives in Lancaster, or a developer that develops in Lancaster, and they're really happy about what they've done. I think word of mouth is the best advertising. I can reach Shane Shepherd up in the front for economic development. He can explain some of the stuff we do outside for publicity and marketing and things like that. If that's something that you're interested in hearing. Is that something Shane that we come up with?
Thank you, Councilmember Mejia. Thank you for the question. In short form, we go to a lot of trade shows, conferences. We do a lot of marketing also. As Councilmember was saying, the word of mouth is also a way to market. But yeah, we do a lot of marketing through the Dallas Chamber, some publications, that kind of stuff. So we do a lot of marketing, a lot of trade shows.
Thank you, Shane. But I do believe that word of mouth is your best advertising. So if you can get good word of mouth, good reputation, everything takes off from there. So before we take off any further, let me introduce a few people. I want to introduce my mother and father, Frank and Irene Mejia in the back. I often tell people, if you love me, you can thank them. If you hate me, you can blame them. Also my girlfriend, Amanda. We got Peter, District 5. We got David, District 6. Anybody else? Am I missing? I think we're good. Okay, any other questions? Next question. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Laura White. My husband and I moved to Lancaster about a year ago. It's halfway between the kids and the grandbabies, so that worked out well. I'm hearing some rumblings about a data center, and it did not turn out to be a good thing for Fort Worth, so I just wanted to know if you were going to speak about that.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. So can you tell me specifically what you didn't like about what happened in Fort Worth?
They're ugly. They suck down the water. They suck down electricity. They don't create long-term jobs. That covers it.
Okay, understand. So as far as ugly, that's going to be something that is eye of the beholder. You know, they're usually made out of tilt wall construction. They do heavy landscaping, and they're willing to meet all city ordinances as far as landscaping and everything else goes. As far as technology goes, I know the water issue is definitely changed. They're going to more air-cooled. So the technology there's changed. The noise reduction is quite a bit reduced. There's been a lot of technology that changed. As far as the jobs, I wouldn't call them jobs that are short-term. I think everybody in this room has a phone, and I think data's here to stay. And so everybody that has a cloud, everybody that's going to the cloud, everybody has their car, you start your car with your phone. All these things, data is the future. It's what's next. And I think I'm pro data centers, I will say that, because I feel like that is very important to the community, and it brings a heck of a property tax to Lancaster. So the way Lancaster makes money is two ways. We make money, well, first of all, it's taxes, right? Correct? And so that's broken off into several categories. Sales tax is one, property tax is another, and then you have franchise tax, and then you have a few other departments. Sales tax is a great tax, but Lancaster doesn't have a great, strong tax base for sales tax. We don't have a lot of restaurants or a lot of big stores, big boxes. We don't have Targets, but we do have Walmart, and they pay okay. But when you're budgeting, you cannot really budget on sales tax because that fluctuates. Good economies, sales tax is high. Bad economy, sales tax drops. So it's I consider sales tax the icing on the cake. Property taxes is where I like to hang my hat because that's going to be more consistent. You know, you're going to have recessions, you're going to have property values go up and down. But the issue is your property tax is going to be more stable. And so, in order to pay for these people, all these staff members, to pay for that new police car, to pay for that new fire truck, to fix your streets, to fix your water lines, to fix your sewer lines, takes money. And I believe that data centers are a great way to get that money. It's low traffic, low impact to the community. I am pro data centers. I think the jobs they do bring are high paying, and I think they're sustainable. So I'm pro data centers. So I think it's a good thing for the community, and I think it would be a good benefit for Lancaster. Next question.
Given the current state of our infrastructure, including bridges that have been closed due to structural concerns and ongoing sewer system issues, do you believe allocating a $63 million for a new city hall is productive investment at this time?
So you're speaking of the new city hall that the city council is talking about?
Yes.
I am not for the city hall. So the city hall right now that they're proposing will be a $30 million investment. They're talking about building it at the city town square. The issue that I have with spending $30 million right now, if you knew the current state of our infrastructure, you'd be terrified. All of our sewer lines are capacity. Our water lines are old. Our streets, I don't have to mention, anybody that drove over here knows the situation with our streets. They're bad. I don't mind spending $30 million in infrastructure. I've spending on sewer lines, water lines, streets, even investing in the police, investing in fire. I don't have a problem with that. Where I do have a problem is investing for $30 million in a city hall that most residents won't use. That money can be better invested and better used somewhere else. When Lancaster one day does have good streets and good water lines and has a strong police and strong fire, I'm going to be the first one to say, hey, it's time for a new city hall. But right now, I think it's irresponsible to invest in a new city hall, knowing the current conditions of our infrastructure and our strength of our police and fire departments.
Would we be able to, the citizens be able to vote for the city hall?
At this time, I think they should, especially when a $30 million investment is.
Right.
And I think 100% it should be up to the citizens of Lancaster to vote and dictate what they want to do with that money. At this time, there has not been an election or anything proposed. So I think right now it's probably just going to be a city council vote if they want to have that city hall or not. But let me explain something else. So the city hall is $30 million investment, but they want to finance it for 30 years. That's $175,000 a month they want to spend. So by the time for 30 years, that comes up to like a $65 million investment. That's $175,000 a month. We could be fixing streets, fixing your water lines, making your parks better. making a lot of things stronger, better in Lancaster. For me, that's the wrong place to put the money. Any other? Next question? Mr. Bradley?
Yes, speaking of streets, as you go east on the Beltline, past the city limits of Lancaster, you come to a big sign that says no trucks in Wilmot. Why can't we do that down our main street, say from Willow Green to Beltline? We don't need these 18-wheelers tearing up our main street.
That's something we can definitely look into about truck traffic and where it's going and how to route it. So that's something. Wilmer did it, and it's kind of messed us up for our east side of Lancaster, because we've had to reroute traffic. But I don't know if that's truly legal, because in my opinion, a city cannot regulate traffic 1 mile from an interstate. So I don't think anybody's ever challenged that with Wilmer. But speaking, we do need to look at our traffic routes and what we can do to keep the semis away from residential areas. So that is important.
So
Another
what
question?
do we need to do to make that happen?
Just keep pushing. You know, speak to city council, speak to staff, and just keep. If that's something y'all want to push, then that's something we need. Give us direction, and we can do that.
Another question too.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that City Hall would be, there would be a council road.
Correct. At this time, that's what it seems like it's going to be.
Is there a point in time where the people that actually live in this town will be able to vote on that, since that's such a confidential amount of money?
At this time, I don't believe so. I believe right now it seems like it's just going to be a council vote. And it seems like they're going to do it pretty quick. They already have a consultant, they already have a design team, they already have everything in place. It just kind of seems like it's waiting for a vote at this point. Also, speaking of that, they just spent $2.2 million to revamp the old fire station in Lancaster to help out with the city of Lancaster's City Hall. So not only are they going to spend $30 million, they just wasted $2.2 million in an old structure that I asked them, what do you want to do with it? And they're like, we don't know, we don't care. We just want a new City Hall. So that's $2.2 million from the base.
I'd like to know what you all are going to do about these potholes in the neighborhood and these people speeding up and down with these children in the neighborhood. One street over where you once lived on Boulevard.
Okay.
And I mean, I've been here 33 years. I've never seen that neighborhood in that condition and seeing now.
Okay, so we'll look into it, to both the potholes and the speeding on Lake
Well,
Boulevard.
they can't patch it up, and about a couple of months later, potholes are back, and they've got people cutting through on Boulevard to go Pleasant Run, but we have children on the street.
Okay, I'll direct police and city staff to look at Willowwood about what we can do about speeding and potholes. Thank you.
I don't know if this is a drama or not, because I arrived a little late, but the railroad tracks on Pleasant Run going to Hutchins.
Okay, on Pleasant Run.
Yeah, on Pleasant Run.
Yes.
No, that's not Pleasant Run.
Winter Green. Okay.
Winter Green. I'm at 0 when I first track.
On Winter Green, on the road? Well, unfortunately, railroad is responsible for maintaining their own intersections.
Okay.
But one of the things we can do is, as a city, we can put pressure on them to fix them until they are a safety issue. So I'm going to have to make sure that staff takes note of that, so we can do to get the
Okay, thank you.
railroads to improve that. You got another question?
Who would I need to speak with as far as my alleyway? It is horrible.
Well, tell me what alleyway.
I'm right off from Harbor and Elmer.
Okay, Harvard Homeowner.
One, the end that we live on is decent, but the other end where the apartment complex is located, and I guess they're getting it had been demolished for quite some years, and now they're up and running again, but however, that end of the alleyway, it is absolutely horrible. Never,
When we get staff, please.
if anything.
Yeah, I'll direct staff to take notes and see what we can do to improve that. Thank you very much.
And as we see the alley between Probate and Boulevard, they told it for the second time for some reason. But when they tore it up and very close, they didn't do it right. And they put it in, and it's floods out there, it's right.
It's
And I
flooding
was
issues?
closed in the back of my home. because the cement normally went up to my fence. But now it's just cold there. So when it rains, it's just breathing still.
I guess staff takes note of that. Next question.
Behind my house, there's a creek. It's been there,
So everybody can hear you.
it's been there forever. And now, people come down the alley, not only teenagers, but adults, and dump everything on that creek. I mean, everything. And the big problem is, when you do get the rains, the water's not gonna be able to go through because all the shrubs are growing in there, all the trash. I saw a truck one day, he came up with his son and threw sacks of trash in there. And adults.
Okay. We need to get staff to get out there and see what we
But is
can
that,
do.
can I ask
Yeah,
you,
go ahead.
is that under, code compliance or parking recreation?
This is called code compliance and stormwater. We gotta figure out who owns it, if it's a city property or if somebody owns it, personal property. have
Well, I've seen the
remediate it.
city clean that out before, but they don't do it anymore.
So more likely city property. Okay, we're gonna get staff to look at it, so we can do to remediate that.
Okay.
I like it. All right, don't be shy. We got one more question over here.
Thank you. My name is Marshall Scanlon. I live on Dallas Avenue, right close to Belmont. I drive Beltline, Dallas Avenue, Pleasant Run, every week, several times. Nobody, no, that's not true. I do, some people do, watch the speed limit. It's stupid speed limit signs there. Nobody watches them. We need some, and I know the chief's here and everything, and I know they're busy. He's got 4 stars, I had 2 at one time. So I can appreciate authority and how busy they are. I think you really need some presence on Beltline Road and Dallas Avenue. Every time I get out, I set my cruise control, speeding, mainly to irritate people. They're trying to get around behind me, and it works.
Well, thank you for your service. Please kind of see what we can do to monitor that area and improve traffic control. Thank you for your service, Tyler. Don't be shy, we got some more questions, come on. You can ask me winning lottery numbers, come on, anything.
Got that. Okay. Has there been any discussion about whether the proposed new city hall will comply with the standards and guidelines established by the Historical Landmark Preservation Committee and the Historic
So you're asking if the city hall is going to match HLPC, Historical Landscape Committee? I don't know. Right now, the only thing we know is that they have good credit and they want to spend $30 million on the city hall. We don't know what the contract, what this is going to look like, or any ideas, or anything about it. All I know is that $30 million is on the table. That's what the guy's willing to finance for the city of Lancaster. What it's going to look like, we don't know. What I have asked staff to do, and the city of Lancaster to do before, is to match the existing codes that we require from other developers. That's something Lancaster's not very good at. We will break our own codes, the things that y'all couldn't do that we're allowed to do, and that really bugs me. Like, if you look around, you see chain link fences that the city owns. You as individuals, if y'all ask to do a chain link fence, y'all cannot do that. That bothers me. What's good enough for the goose is good enough for the gander. I believe that what we require from y'all is we should do for ourselves. We shouldn't break our own rules. And that's just one example. There's a multitude of zoning things that we broke, several things that we've done as a city that nobody else can do but we can do. So I can't answer that question right now if it's going to match HLPC. I don't know what it's going to look like. We haven't got that far. It just seems like the city council is ready to spend $30 million. That's going to cost us $65 million. Currently, no. Not with the city code the way it is. If you have a chain link fence, you're fine. You're grandfathered in. And growing up, I don't understand what's wrong with chain link fence. Growing up, I remember as a kid, I always jumped chain link fences because everybody in our neighborhood had chain link fences, and they were fine. And a lot of those fences are still standing. Well, we have So you'd have to get a fencing permit. The way it works, you have to go to the city, you get a fencing permit, and then they tell you what kind of material you can use. You can use wrought iron, you can use wood, but chain link is not right now approved material for a fence in the city of Lancaster. And that's what bothers me, because our police station has it, our soccer field has it, behind our fleet maintenance building has chain link.
Yeah, because that's all the city limits. You can't have one where was chain.
Right. I remember as a kid, everybody had chain link fences. They're good. They last forever. If you're on a budget, chain link fence is a good option. You know, and they don't look bad. You kind of see through them. If you have a pretty backyard, benefits everybody. I'm pro chain link fence.
Is there a reason for that?
City council, which is what they voted on. City council, that's what they voted on. I think that was even previous to me. And so it's something I've tried to change. I brought it up town work sessions and several things. And city council doesn't want to hear it.
And they're going to spend $30 million on City Hall side unseen.
They're going to get credit for $30 million, is what they're going to do.
Okay.
So
They're going to build City Hall side unseen. It doesn't have to go in hand in hand with regulations in that area. And
I can't speak on it. Kind of what they're doing, they got approved, they got a loan for $400,000. Or like, if we're like, somebody in this room got approved for a house for $400,000, then you go figure out what you're going to spend that $400,000 on. That's kind of where we are right now. They know that this builder, this developer will give us credit for $30 million, and he'll finance it for 30 years, which costs us $65 million overall, $175,000 a month, but we don't really know the design yet. Say it again. Oh, 100%. Every nickel that the city of Lancaster spends, but this is your money.
But that's why they need to come to us first for they do.
I agree with you 100%. Look, I have not forgotten. Tax dollars are your money. It's not my money. I think there's already a petition floating around.
How did I find out if there's a petition already?
I believe there is. And so before you leave, there's some people here you can probably speak to about that. So, but look, as I was about to say something. The tax dollars are your money. It's the taxpayers, and it's not even something that when you get your tax bill, it's not optional. You're forced to pay that money. So when I choose to spend that money, I take it I'm very responsible with it, because I know it's not an option money you gave. It's forced money, and so I have to be a good steward of that money and how I spend it and what I do with it. Because that's not my money, it's your money. Y'all elected me to do the best I can with those tax dollars. That's what I was elected to do, to protect you. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Are we going to get anything new in Lancaster other than warehouses?
Well, so the way it works is the reason that I'm pro warehousing, because our daytime population, 80% of our people get up and leave for 12 hours every day. And then the people, the 20% that stay are on fixed income, they don't have a lot of disposable income. And our average household income is like $56,000, then that's 2.5 people per household. So that's somewhere around $23,000, $24,000 a month. We don't have a lot of money in the city of Lancaster on a daily basis. So one of the things the city council and myself is really trying to push are to bring jobs in the city, because that's going to increase your daytime population. That's going to bring more people in with spendable money, and what that does is trickle down economics. What that's going to allow you to do is have more restaurants, have more stores, have more things for the citizens of Lancaster to enjoy. So that's one of the reasons that we have these big warehouses, because we're not focused. We don't want these big boxes just because we want them, but we need them. Because 8% of our population is leaving them. We've got to bring people into our community and keep people in our community for those jobs, so that trickles down economics things work for all of you.
So now that we have them on all entryways to come into Lancaster, whether it's coming up Bonneville, North Dallas, Wintergreen, Houston School, they're everywhere. Now we do, as you say, we brought in jobs. They need somewhere to eat. They need something to do. Can we get something else? Because they're also tearing up Houston School Road.
Well, we're starting to get some, and we're starting to get more attention. I mean, we've got Michaela here. Michaela is one of the big owners of the town square. She's brought Gallosa, she's brought a few other things. And so we are trending in the right direction. But it's, if we didn't get in this situation overnight, and we're not going to pull out of it overnight, but we are trending in the right direction. And Shane can tell you, and I've been to several retail conventions, we're getting attention. Our numbers are moving in the right direction, and developers are looking at us. So.
Well, and you got all these runaways out here, and these investors, they don't care anything like profit.
I agree.
And so, I mean, they go out. run down. And so I think you all need to come up with something to make them accountable for how the upkeep of their properties, the trees overgrown. Every time the storm come through, if the lights are out because of the trees hanging on the line. And so we have lights 2 or 3 days because of tornadoes. And you know, the rooms are not going to be trees.
I agree. The city of Lancaster, in the last 5 or 6 years, or maybe even longer, we put in a rental program. So you have to register with the city of Lancaster if you want to rent a property in the city of Lancaster. And that was to kind of keep the standards up to a certain level because we were getting a lot of slumlords and people that didn't care. And so we've had to enforce this rental registration to improve the quality of life, not only for our citizens of Lancaster, but improve the neighborhoods in the city of Lancaster. So that's one of the things that we pushed. I'm not big on registrations. I hate it. But in this situation, it was needed. I'm pro-freedom. If I ever make an error, I want to make the error on freedom. But when you have slumlords moving in, just taking advantage of not only the people living in these houses, but the communities, we had to step in and do something. So, and piggyback on that, Lancaster has a huge problem because about 40% of the city of Lancaster is rental. And there's not a problem with rental homes in the city of Lancaster. I'm pro-rental. Everybody's living in a rental house. But I would like to see that number somewhere around 20%, I think is a strong number for rental houses in Lancaster. 80% ownership, 20% rental. And I've been trying to push to increase property values to get these slumlords out of Lancaster, because when your property values are higher, they cannot afford to come into your Lancaster and to buy these houses because now the properties are too high. So one of the things I've been focusing on, trying to get council to focus on, is increasing property values in Lancaster by doing certain things, bringing more jobs, bringing more demand to the city of Lancaster. Because
property values increase their taxes.
Hey, that's it.
Yes, sir.
And on top of that, I don't know what the budget of the city is, but I mean, we're saying there's not a lot of people. We're building the warehouses because we can't get anybody in. But we should still be able to maintain whatever the city budget is to maintain what we have, since there's not a lot to maintain. Seeing as how where the residential areas are small and the population is small.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. Lancaster isn't small. We're 33 square miles. Right. We have over, how many, do you know how many miles of roads we have? We'll get back. But Lancaster has a lot of things that we have to maintain. Right. What was the original part of that question?
I was just, increase our property value.
Yes, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So actually the last 5 or 6 years, we've decreased your tax rate. Right. But unfortunately, Dallas County has increased your property value. So the savings that we're trying to give back to you, you're not seeing as a taxpayer because Dallas County is increasing your property value.
At the same time, I think our city services have decreased.
I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd probably agree with that, 100%. But remember, I got elected in 2010. When I got elected in 2010, the city of Lancaster had an ambulance that couldn't make it to the hospital. Meaning that if you had a heart attack in the city of Lancaster, you're better off driving yourself. Today we have all brand new ambulances. When I got elected, it was a $52 million budget. Today I think we're crossed over $100 million budget. So we're making the money. But it's responsible to hold our council members responsible for what they're doing with that money. Now that we're starting to make a little bit of money, put that money back into infrastructure. Put it back in the streets, put it back in police, put it back in fire, not at City Hall. That's the most important thing. Is we're starting to make the money, but we cannot waste the money. That's the most important thing as a council member and the council does. Do not waste the tax dollars. The tax dollars are the most important thing that we have. Remember, it's not our money as council. It's your money. You gave us that money. We just have to be stewards with it. Next question.
I'm here to tell everybody that the taxes you pay is still your money. They didn't tell you how much you afford or how much you want to pay. They make you pay whatever you got to pay. And that's the reason we put representatives in city council to look out for your money, to invest it the right way, not what they want. It's not the city money, it's not city council money, it's the people's money. We pay, it's our money. And they're supposed to be very responsible how they spend it and what they do with it. There's a lot of things we need in the city better than a city hall. I promise you that. I've been here 50 years, I can tell you that. And like I said, it's not the money, it's not city council money, it's not the city money, it's still your money. There are people in the city council that are representing you and you tell them how do you want to spend that money. They gotta listen to you. If they don't listen, we go to somebody else. But remember, it's your money, not the city council, or not the city.
We're not a small city. Unfortunately, we're almost 42,000, 43,000 people. We have a lot of people. We have a lot of things, and we're so far behind on infrastructure that we have a lot of things that we need to improve in. So, you know, the warehouse, like I said, we went from $52 million budget to over $100 million budget.
How do you do it?
Because now we have more money. Like last year, we spent $30 million on the streets. We're investing, but I'm trying to get them to invest back in the city. And also, we reduced your tax rate 4 or 5 times. We went from 0.86 to, what's our tax rate now? 0.59? Was it? We'll look it up. But we were, when I got elected, they actually had a tax increase because it was the recession. I voted against it. But yeah, we had an increase, I think, in 2011 because the property values fell so short. But right, we were 0.86, I think we're significantly lower than that. So we are trying to get you your tax money back in your pocket. It's just the property value.
You know as a warehouse city.
I understand.
Versus a development city.
Well, development
is behind everybody else.
Say that again.
We're light years behind everybody else.
And that didn't start in the last 15 years. That started 40, 50 years ago.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if Langston's had many opportunities for development, I tell people all the time, if Langston would have got it right 40 or 50 years ago, Frisco would still be a farming town. Lancaster should have been in Frisco. We should be that. But we refused to grow and refused to develop 40 years ago. And when you stop growing, you start dying. And because that, like that man said earlier, we have a bad reputation that we're trying to overcome.
Very bad.
Yes, I agree.
So I have a question. So is it worth calling other city council members?
100%.
Inundating them with emails?
100%.
Phone calls?
100%.
And saying,
100%.
we don't want this?
100%.
Even though they already have their designer picked out and all that kind of stuff?
Well, they haven't voted on it yet, so they can still change their mind. But 100%. It's your tax dollars. If you're not happy with it, if you don't think this is the vision that y'all want, everybody on council told me that this is what the constituents want. I disagree. I don't think this is what y'all want. I think if y'all knew the situations of your sewer lines and water lines, you already know what your streets look like. Y'all would be very concerned.
That was my question. What is Lancaster doing for our water? Our water bills are increasing. We're not getting better service with water, trash. Other small towns like ours, you get to have curbside where you can do your trash every week. Get picked up bulk, as long with your trash. But we have to have it once every other month. You're paying too much.
I agree.
You don't have to water your grass.
Another interesting thing is we have a trash contract coming up. What's council going to do with that trash contract? The other thing about water, if you touch water, water is kind of like gas, like that you put in your car. We buy it from the city of Dallas. And so whatever rate they give us, we have to unfortunately pass it on. A couple of times we've inherited that bill and we paid for it out of our general fund. But unfortunately, sometimes we have to increase it because the city of Dallas keeps going up.
But it's not so much the water, it's the sewers and sanitation. They went up on it, but they give them less service, like she said. Once they come once a month, they went to every other month. And half the time they're Monday and the every 2, what is it? Oh, every 2 or 3 months. You have to call in all the time. You know, so it's not so much the water, it's all the other stuff on there, the sewers and sanitation and the trash pickup and all this. They're not giving us the service that we paying for. I mean, I don't know why they got an increase, but they got to pick up trash.
I agree 100%. I'm going to look into it, but you know, I'm on one person. I'm on 1 out of 7. Yeah, so.
And I do know for a fact, Wood was a small little town, and I know they don't have to pay as much as we do, and they're a small town.
I think it's something we need to look
And they
into.
get the same service, well, they get better service than we do.
Yeah, I think it's something we need to look into, better service for our trash.
Councilman, you made a statement about our city having a bad reputation.
Yes, sir.
How did we get that reputation, and what is that bad reputation? You're the longest sitting council member. Why haven't we done anything, right? You've done anything to change that reputation? I mean, this has been going on for some time, you say?
Yes, sir.
So we need some solutions to change
100%.
that reputation.
Let me explain. This reputation didn't happen in the last 15 years. This happened 40 or 50 years ago. And we have a reputation for anti-development, anti-growth. And it takes a whole long time to beat that. I'm probably the most pro-growth council member on it. Unfortunately, I'm just 1 out of 7. I get 1 vote out of 7. But I am working hard to change our reputation. The problem is like pushing a big rock in the pushing everybody to be pro-business, be pro-citizen, do the right thing for the community.
What does the staff say about it?
It's not staff say, it's council's job to give direction to Opal to push that down. These people do not directly work for me. They don't work for council. Opal works for me. City attorney works for me. City secretary works for city council. And when I say me, I mean city council. And the judge works for me. There's only 4 employees that we have. But our job is to make sure that Opal understands the message of council and pushes it down. And we have made strides. Huge strides. We were moving in the right direction with a reputation. But in the last 2 or 3 years, our reputation is sliding back down. And I can't catch it. I can't catch it alone. I know you don't believe that, but I promise the reputation is moving in the right direction. But the problem is 1 out of 7. Well, 1 out of 7. That's the issue.
We're running the city manager for reputation, going back, is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying, council, like, it's like a business, right? You have an owner, you have a manager, you have a foreman, you have superintendents, you have kind of this pyramid, right? Everything starts with council. Everything starts with council. Council hires city manager and gives the direction on what policy we want, and he goes to trickles down from there. And city council's happy with things are going, or they don't want customer service, or they don't want growth. Your city's not going to have growth because that's what they told the city manager to do, and that's what they push down. And I'm not beating up on Opal. I'm just saying city manager is a position, not a person.
Sounds like you.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm trying to correct it. Because I'm not beating up on Opal. I'm just saying city manager. When I say city manager, it's city manager. But the reputation, it starts with city council.
How do you get the word out?
Well, success. When you start letting people come in your community doing the right thing.
Something called a newspaper would help.
Well, I'm fortunate to tell you that's dead. Newspapers no longer work. Social media, other things like that, but newspapers are almost out of
But you do have old people.
I agree, but we don't own a newspaper. Langston doesn't own a newspaper. We don't own anything.
Well, I know you don't.
Right.
Not you did, but they had a weekly coming out.
We did. When I was a young man, yes, we did have some newspapers, but that newspaper went out of business.
So how do you get the word out?
They get out. They still use newspaper a little bit, but also they use social media and other things like that. So that's kind of where everything's trending towards. Okay,
My name is Mejia. This is my hometown. I love that we're speaking about the power of reputation of the industry, and just to speak a bit of positive feedback here. I came back to town to work in the downtown square and in real estate development. In 2 years, we took the district from 3 businesses that served you guys to 13 retail restaurants. That's pretty significant, and I just want to say that the council, Margot and all the others, Cheatham, Ben, I see here, Opal, and the staff have been very supportive. So I think the work that's happening there, in the core of the city, always radiates out. And I hear very much already a shift in reputation. Oh, Lancaster, never heard of that town. That's so cool. I'm interested to learn more. And they're coming in. And so we're already improving reputation. And I want to thank the council and Opal for helping me with that. I'm seeing it rapidly change by the day. And then the private sector, we're doing a lot to spread the word. We've got 14,000 cell phone numbers now. If you've gotten a text at all about the downtown, that came from us. We've got a beautiful billboard with Hokkaido City off I-35. And all of that too was because of council support to help us financially make that happen. And then just a little funny thing. I do live in West Dallas, and when I exit the highway to Lancaster, I'm relieved by the quality of the streets. I feel the $30 million, and I much better than my home. So thank you guys.
Thank you for that. Any other questions, concerns?
I have a concern.
All right. Sorry.
One of my concerns is our fire department, how we've lost so many firefighters in the past few months, and how in different meetings it's been said that we're fully staffed, but yet they're working overtime, mandatory overtime that. And I'm wondering if we're fully staffed, why are they working overtime? And what is the status of Station 4? And how are we gonna get more firefighters for that?
Okay. I know our fire department is having some turnover. I don't know why the issue is, but we are. Can you talk on if we're fully staffed or not?
I can get the information. We'll make sure we get the exact numbers of how many we have.
Okay, we'll get you those numbers. But as far as 4, I think we approved not too long ago to hire more firemen for fire station number 4. So we're working on doing that right now. Where we are in that process, I don't know, but we're working on it.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You ever say speak up? Okay. No, I don't want to get up. I sat in on that city council meeting where they made the presentation for the city hall. And I was never more dumbfounded by the answers that some of the city council people that are leading this country had, because they were so focused on wanting new city hall. Michaela, how old are the buildings at the square? Over 100 years. How old do you think the city hall is? Huh? Yeah.
I think it was built in like 1970, so around 50 years.
Okay. One of our leaders said that it should be knocked down because he walked in there one day and the roof was leaking. How many times do you think the town square buildings have been repaired? Is that a reason to knock down the building? Okay. The other one said that if we had nice facilities, we get better employees. I don't think a facility is going to bring better employees. Money to pay better, the employees better will bring better employees. Okay? And another one was so excited because we had good credit. Good credit sometimes gets you in trouble. We go over your head. So those are the 3 things that I remember. I said, these are our leaders. This is all they have to say. This is how they defend wanting something new. So.
Yes, I applied for Chief Johnson to give an update on personnel. Oh, yeah, it's about no time.
Good evening, my name is Kenneth Johnson, I serve as the fire chief. There was a request for an update on the overtime on the fire department. Let me say this, that one thing I can guarantee you is that every day we require to have 18 people to staff our apparatuses. We staff our apparatus for 18 people every day. And they're responding, response time is still up, still real good. And there are some questions sometimes regarding whether or not, I think the question was, are we fully staffed? Again, our commitment is, and our people are very committed. They say, are people working overtime? Of course, they're working overtime. Matter of fact, I had 2 people meeting me last week, one of them they get more overtime. So that's a question about mandatory overtime. I don't know where that question come from, but I'm getting requests for additional overtime. So guys like the overtime. We have people in paramedic school. We're getting ready to open Station 4. We have 18 new people for the station. They already been hired. 6 of them getting ready to be hired in November. The rest of them are already here. We're training them to be paramedics. They're in paramedic school. It's a plan, a process where we're going to send those people to paramedic school. As a result, the rest of the people, some people have to work overtime while to accommodate those people that are gone. It's no surprise. Maybe it's a surprise to some people. It's definitely part of the plan, how we're going to get the people trained up to open up the station. So overtime is not an issue. I think the guys really liking overtime. If there's somebody complaining, they hadn't complained to me, and I'll be the one to complain to because I'm the one that can resolve the issue. Is there any other specific question?
If you have that many, because what I'm getting is that they're fully staffed, but the new people cannot go on calls or anything until they're fully trained, which takes 6 months. Is that correct?
So the process is that some of the people we hire do have to retrain, some of them are trained. But to give you the exact numbers, I'll have to go back and look at the exact numbers, how many in which category. We do have people in training, and yes, we do have people manning the staff in the fire station.
And I would appreciate that information. Thank you.
No problem. Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying that they're having to go through paramedics training. So when you have a station, is it going to be a mix of experience with new people, or you're having one whole station that's all new people that are just learning?
Yeah, we would never do that.
Okay.
We never would do
I
that.
just said it, I'm like, I don't know if that's the smartest.
We never do that. Anybody else? Thank you very much.
All firefighters will be training paramedics?
The goal is to have all of our firefighters duly trained. Firefighters and paramedics, they rotate. One day they ride the fire engine, one day they ride the ambulance. So they all be duly trained, yes. Better bang for the buck, yes.
Chief Johnson, before you step back over to the table, can you make this plain and clear? Like the fire department is not riding short.
You know, we're not running short. When someone asks a question about fully staffed to me means, do you have an opportunity to hire more people? We do not. We've hired all the people we've been authorized to hire. They're in different levels of been prepared to be put at the station. We're not short now.
Authorized and having enough are two different answers.
Well,
So you have enough people to fill all the stations, or just enough that you're authorized to hire?
I don't understand your question.
Well, like you're saying, you've hired all that you're authorized. Like, is that enough to fully staff and to take care of all of Lancaster?
Most definitely. All right, thank you very much.
All right. Any other questions, concerns? Winning lottery tickets?
First of all, I want to say thank you that we moved into the right direction. I saw that several times with different events that we had in the city, and I noticed people were really happy that we had such a good time and people got together, nice vibration, and we just improved in certain directions. This is really very nice to see. But the other side, I'm kind of saddened about the issue about that the city hall is supposed to be. The new city hall is supposed to be built.
You said about it, or you asking where it's going to go?
That proposed new city hall.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can, I don't understand what you mean. I don't understand what you mean.
So I'm sad about that this issue raised again.
Are you sad it's being brought up again?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it was brought up.
We had this before.
Correct, it was brought up
And
3, 4, 5 years ago.
the issue raised again.
Correct.
That the new city hall need to be built.
Correct.
So sad in some ways that we have city council sitting there, and actually they apparently positive towards the new plan, building a new city hall. My thinking is we trust in all these city council members with our money. So do certain people not go throughout the city realizing that so many spots in the city are in desolated condition, in really desolated conditions. So that means we are in need of fixing things, not just putting a Band-Aid on things, but fixing it. I'm talking about parks and recreation. I'm talking about code compliance, the streets, and so forth. These are all issues. I only see that we're putting Band-Aids on things, but we're not fixing it. For instance, the lady spoke about potholes. The potholes constantly get Band-Aided, but not fixed. You know, you can fix a pothole that it lasts for several years, but that's not what we do it. We put Band-Aid on it so that it pops up with the next rain, right? So we're creating more and more problems actually. But on the other hand, we want to spend another millions for a new city hall that we really don't need. Why is the city hall not maintained properly? Or maybe we can modify it if there is really something in need. But do we need something new? We need so much more other things in our city. Like we need employees, professional employees that go out and see the issues that we have on the streets. We have so many spots in Lancaster throughout the entire city that are not in order. So I'm wondering, is code compliance not taking care of it? Do they not see it? I don't know what is going on, but I noticed that. I love Lancaster, I love to live here, and I'm throughout the entire city noticing that we keep having issues over and over again.
Right.
And it's not stopping.
Right.
But yet spending all these millions, or want to spend the millions. So this is why I'm sad about our city council. That makes me, can I still trust them? I guess
That's a good
not.
question. You know, that's a question that you, look, a lot of these things happen because the citizens don't get involved, okay? This is your city, this is your tax dollars. They're doing the things They're doing things that if you watch them, they probably won't do. I don't know. But to speak about fixing, for the first 10 years of being on council, we didn't have money to fix anything. So any Band-Aid we could do was the best that we could do. Now that we're starting to make some money, it's important to put that money back into the infrastructure or the parks or things or police, fire, things that count, things that the citizens use every day, not at City Hall. So now that we're starting to make a little bit of money, it's important that we don't waste that money. You know, we got to put that money back into the things that Gabby just mentioned. All of those things are important. All of those things are used every day by our constituents. So, and this happens a lot of times with the organizations and people when they start making money. They start wasting it on things that they shouldn't be wasting on. And so that's kind of where Lancaster's at right now. We're kind of that teenager that just made his first $500 and we can't figure out how to spend it. We're dying to spend it. So that's kind of where Lancaster is right now. We're starting to make some money, but they want to waste it and not permanently fix the things that we need to fix.
Yeah, basically, why have a nice, beautiful building for the City Hall and you got ready to see?
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yep, I agree with that. Next question.
Okay, my name's Rusty Lamley, and I want to bring an awareness to everybody, especially when we're talking about the code department. Did you folks know that there's a program, I've been with them about 15 years. I'm a volunteer. It's called the Lancaster Eyes and Ears Program. And we actually even have our own city car. So we go out. My thing is picking up these abandoned signs that you see in the city. But we work through the guidance of code compliance. We become an extra eyes and ears. Unless you've been north, south, east, west to understand how huge Lancaster is, the code officers can't cover it all. So we step in, maybe take care of the little things so they can do the big things. And right now, there's just 2 of us doing it. We're needing volunteers and help. It's just like for a couple of hours a week. It's a remarkable program, and I wouldn't want us to see it lose it. Thank you.
I just want to see, Lancaster was called small earlier, and I was looking for these numbers, and here they are. So Lancaster has over 42,000 people. Citywide, we're 33 square miles. We maintain 18 facilities. We have 984 acres of parks, 19 parks, 220 miles of road. We have 196 miles of water main, 208 miles of sewer. So it's a lot of things that we have to maintain with those tax dollars that you pay.
Consider the fact that we are such a large city, actually, so to speak. So that requires professional stuff. We need the city employees that are taking care of all these things. Why don't we have it? Why do we always have these problems coming up with the streets, with the parks, and all kinds of things in Lancaster? That is probably, we don't have enough stuff. Isn't that the case? I don't know.
I wouldn't say that necessarily. We could always use better equipment, more equipment to maintain these things. And I think not necessarily do you always need more staff. You need really good staff. You need to reward your good employees and hire better talent as you can. So I don't think it's necessarily always a numbers game. I think it's just hiring the right people. And so I think we do have a lot of the right people in the right place, but we just got to really push them and support them to maintain these things the right way. The biggest issue that we have, remember, we're 40, 50 years behind. In the last 10, 15 years, that we finally when we started improving. So we're way behind in a lot of ways.
So that means we have hired professional people that take care of our city?
We are. But for a long time, for 7 years, they didn't get raises, so we lost a lot of good people. And nobody was applying to work in the city of Lancaster. But now our pay rate is competitive, and we're starting to see a cycle. We're starting to be able to hold on to our talent that we have a little bit better, and we're able to hire better talent as needed. So we are working on that.
I just want to say something about code enforcement is doing their job, but they're not enforcing code. They come out and talk to people, but I don't know what y'all can do to enforce the code, but they don't comply.
code compliance is a tough one because when we find a violation, we have to notify you. You have 10 days to improve it. If you don't improve it, then you get issued a ticket. And then you have to go to court, and it's a whole process that we have to follow.
So 2 years,
You have a specific property that you want to talk about, or?
yeah, I already talked about it, and so it didn't comply, it's still there.
Okay. Well, we'll look into that issue, but code compliance, let me speak of code compliance a little bit. One of the issues that we do not have enough code compliance officers, but I don't think you ever will. You always want as many code compliance officers as possible. The issue that Lancaster is having, though, is that code compliance is meant for the few and issues in between here and there. The problem that we have, when we have people parking in our yards and, doing these things, it overwhelms the code compliance. We shouldn't have to tell you to just regularly mow your yard. We shouldn't have to tell you, please don't park in your yard. But when code compliance is chasing these kind of calls, it really bogs down the system. So this is one of the issues that Lancaster is having, but I will always say, I don't think we will ever have enough code compliance officers because this is the way you keep your city pretty. But we as a community, we are all code compliance. You should turn something in or, talk to your neighbor, be like, hey, don't park in the yard. Cut your grass. It's not that hard of a deal. I mow my yard, not for me. I mow for my neighborhood. I want them to, when they drive through the community, to see a pretty house. I want them to enjoy a pretty neighborhood. When I mow my yard, it's not for me. It's for them.
And Marco, how is it that the city of Red Oak, which is our neighbor right here, they're getting new tractor supply, they just got an olive garden, they're getting other businesses coming in. Why are we not getting no businesses here?
So it goes back to kind of what I was speaking about, daytime population, average household income, and then there's another factor that helps retail and restaurants. It's called trade area. So what these people do is they spend millions and thousands of millions of dollars every year researching every community, and they'll figure out where most of the money is and where the people are willing to travel from outside of the community to certain locations. Right now, the 35 of the Villanova corridor is getting more development because that trade area is showing to be stronger. There's more money in that area. And fortunately, they've proven that the people that do want those services from Lancaster are willing to travel from outside of Lancaster to go to that area to enjoy those benefits. So we have three things that Lancaster's got to improve. Daytime population, average household income, and the strength of our trade area. We got to prove that this community, this area has money. So these developers will come in and develop in our community. And maybe we can start pulling people from Red Oak out. Maybe people from Dallas out here, maybe from other, Duncanville out here. But until we improve those numbers, we're going to continue to do some of those businesses. We have improved. But are we there exactly where we want to be? No. Questions, concerns?
Didn't what you just say contradict what you just put up here on the board?
What's that?
You said we a large place, we got all this.
We're large by population, we're large by size, we're large by ministries to maintain. That's what I meant by large. What specifically are you talking about?
It's a development.
Right. So,
you brag about the lower population.
Right. The problem is, I'll go back to what I just said. 80% of your population every day gets something like okay, and then your average household income is like $58,000, and that's divided by 2.5 people. So that means that every person in Lancaster is walking around with $23,000 to $24,000 that they make a year in Lancaster. Third, trade area. Trade area is where the developers go and they look how much money is in this area, how much money are we losing by not having one of our businesses in this area. So the two different things. One is size, miles of streets. The other one is financing, what the developers look. And right now, we the council are trying to work to get those numbers up, the finance numbers up. But those are two different things. Questions, concerns? Nobody's asking me lottery. Anything from staff? Anything you want to hear from the police department? Heard from the fire department? Are we good? One more question. There we go. I thought we were going to do that.
I want to say it was a good family reunion. You all do this one. That's all.
We can do this once a month. Next time we'll have sandwiches and drinks. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I mean, a lot to me. Thank you very much. Please leave your information. Please stay, mingle, meet your neighbors, talk to your friends. It's good to see you.